Buckle up, because today we are diving headfirst into a mystery that's been haunting the world for, well, close to a century now. We're talking about the Bermuda Triangle, and more specifically, the recent discovery of Flight 19. For those of you who don't know, Flight 19 was a group of Navy planes that vanished into thin air back in 1945. Poof!
Yep.
Gone. And it's been a huge question mark ever since. But there's been a pretty groundbreaking development recently, and we're going to unpack all of it using a fascinating new report. It's called Investigadores encuentran avión.txt. Catchy, right? But seriously, this report lays out some really compelling stuff about what might have happened to Flight 19 and what this new discovery could mean for the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. So, to get us all on the same page, let's rewind back to 1945, December 5th to be exact. Seemed like just another day. 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers. Those were some pretty tough planes back then. They took off from Florida on a routine training mission. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Except they never came back. Vanished. Just like that. And that's where the mystery really takes root. Now, over the years, there's been no shortage of theories about what happened to Flight 19. Some people, they'll tell you it's aliens, abductions and all that. Others point to bizarre magnetic fields in the area, or even these giant methane bubbles rising up from the ocean floor. I mean, hey, it's the Bermuda Triangle. Anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's definitely captured the imagination. For a reason, right?
Exactly. But what's really interesting now is that researchers think they've actually located the wreckage of Flight 19 after all this time.
It really is quite incredible when you think about it. We're talking about technology that can scan the ocean floor in ways that would have been unimaginable just a few decades ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now we might have actual concrete evidence in a mystery that's been shrouded in speculation for so long.
It's amazing, but hold on a second. How can we be sure this is Flight 19? I mean, the ocean floor is a big place. Got to be littered with all sorts of stuff, right?
That's a great question, and it's definitely something the researchers considered. They didn't just stumble across some random hunk of metal and yell, "Eureka!" The report goes into detail about how they analyzed the wreckage, and it lines up incredibly well with the specifications of a World War II-era TBM Avenger. I mean, we're talking almost a perfect match.
So it's like finding a fingerprint at a crime scene. It's got to be them.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And this isn't just about historical curiosity. This discovery could potentially bring some closure to the families of those 14 crew members who were lost that day after all these years.
Absolutely. It really makes you think about the human side of things, not just the mystery itself. But speaking of the mystery, does this mean we can finally put all those wild Bermuda Triangle theories to rest?
Well, I wouldn't go that far just yet. Finding Flight 19 is a huge development, no doubt. But it doesn't magically explain every other disappearance that's been attributed to the Bermuda Triangle. And what's important here is that the report is focused on the what, as in what happened to Flight 19. They found the plane, but they haven't definitively said why it went down.
So no confirmation of giant sea monsters or underwater alien bases. Darn.
This time. But on a serious note, the report's emphasis on the technology used to find the wreckage, I think it speaks to a more grounded scientific approach to understanding these disappearances.
Okay, so maybe hold off on the sci-fi movie scripts for now.
For now, yeah, but listen, it's easy to get caught up in the more sensational stuff. But the reality is, the Bermuda Triangle is a heavily trafficked area. There are storms, navigational challenges, even something as simple as a mechanical issue can lead to an accident at sea.
It's true. Things happen.
Exactly. And those are all perfectly plausible explanations for at least some of the disappearances that have happened over the years.
That's a good point. A good reality check. But still, what is it about these mysteries, these unsolved puzzles, that capture our imaginations so powerfully? Why are we so drawn to the unexplained?
Well, I think it's fundamentally human. We have this deep-seated need to make sense of the world around us, to understand the why and the how of things. Mysteries like the Bermuda Triangle, they poke at that curiosity. They remind us that there are still things we don't know.
And that's kind of exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's what drives exploration, discovery, and scientific progress.
Yeah.
Even with a discovery as significant as this one, there's still a sense of wonder.
For sure.
What really happened that day? What other secrets might the ocean be hiding? These unanswered questions, they keep us searching, keep us exploring. And I think that's a good thing.
I love that. It's amazing to me how even with incredible breakthroughs, like finding Flight 19, the Bermuda Triangle itself, it remains an enigma. It makes you think. If you had the chance to ask the researchers just one question about this discovery, what would it be? Because even with amazing finds like this, some mysteries might never be fully solved. And maybe, just maybe, that's part of what makes them so fascinating. What do you think? Let us know. Until next time, stay curious.